Hi, my name is Cindy Littlefield, and I'm going to take you through a current demonstration of how we're using the Sacrowedgy. Now, there's two versions, of course, the female version and the male version. Now, there will be some women that have a longer, more narrow frame that you're going to have to switch to the female. So try both. Occasionally, some people are fine with either one, but most of the time, the typical female frame is fine with the female version, and the taller, more narrow women, or sometimes women that have not given birth, may have to go to the male version. So this is Nicole, and the way we're going to start the demonstration is roll to your side. We're going to show the placement. Come all the way up on your side first, and it's a good thing to start your client with the placement so that they can feel how the Sacrowedgy fits the shape of the sacrum, and that way you can kind of imprint it and then let them hold it in place with your hand, and then just roll to your back, kind of tune up the placement, and then just stretch your legs out. Now, we do a lot more rocking than we used to do, finding a little bit more out about some of the fascia that tends to get stuck in the pelvic girdle. So we do a little bit of movement, just some slight wiggling, just a little light side to side movement. So this would be the first step. And then the next step is to do both knees bent, knees together and feet together, and once again more rocking. And sometimes, depending on the client, you can feel resistance on one side, a little bit over the other side. And this is where I always ask if they have one side that's gives them more problems or a little bit more angrier than the other side. So do you have an angry side, Nicole?
Yes.
That's your angry side. Okay. So the reason we do this is to keep this side bent and stretch this out. And what I'm going to do is support the knee so that we disengage these muscles. So we're just going to put a pillow and let you just kind of, should be a little bit more round, but there. This side is completely disengaged. We're not using a muscle to hold the leg. And the reason we do that is we're going to access the psoas muscle on the opposite side, and you always want the opposite knee bent. So the way we access the psoas muscle, we're going to abduct slightly here, is we'll flop the knee a couple of times to get things loosened up, and then with the heel of your hand you just go slightly below the ASIS. So as soon as you feel that dip, it's going to just be a light pulse, and you're getting a nice gentle release in the psoas without being invasive. Just do a few pulses, and then we've started including a little bit of a sustain hold. So you just find a nice release and hold that for just a few seconds. And I'm looking for movement in her foot, so that's how I know I'm getting a little bit of a release in the psoas. And it's not CPR, it's not real hard pressure, it's very, very light. It's like a forward movement, and then you do the hold and just hold that sustained hold for just a second. Okay, now we're going to do the whole routine all on one side, and then I'll switch to the other side. So this is the only time that the knee is supported, is for the psoas release. So now I'm going to lift her knee, and I don't want her to move a muscle. Got everything relaxed, so don't engage. Don't help me. Okay. Oh, I have an ant. Excuse me. Okay. We are in nature. So slowly pick the knee up, and then I'm going to straighten her leg out to a comfortable position. Then do a slight lift and go no further than what the leg says. We don't want to stretch anything or force anything. Do a pump back. down, lift it up. You want to be very slow, very methodical. If somebody's really in a lot of pain, you don't want them to guard and tighten up because you're doing a fast or hard movement. So everything is very slow and very gentle. And now I'm going to hold the knee. Nice stretch for the sartorius muscle. We tend to concentrate more on the sartorius, psoas, and the piriformis muscle. Those are the three main muscles that tend to jam the pelvic girdle. And this is where I want to get some nice rolling in the hip till you really feel things smooth. Motion is lotion. And if they're having sciatica issues and you want to address the piriformis a little bit more, hold the opposite hip and it's like a circle squeeze. Really get a nice stretch. And then the foot goes down, the knee just drops. And once again we do a little bit more rocking, lots of rocking. And very slowly straighten the leg out. And this is another time, it's not some people's favorite part, but this is whenever I'll hit that sartorius insertion point. And some people will come off of the table, others do not. It just kind of tells you that there's a little bit of an imbalance, that the sartorius is shortened a little bit. Some people that sit a lot, that's very common. So we'll work on down this way. Okay. And then we're going to bend this knee, we're going to go the opposite side. And we'll support this. And just let this go. And then basically you just repeat the whole process on the other side. So we're going to access the psoas in a very gentle way. Going to find the ASIS just very gently and go right below. You can feel it kind of almost sink in a little bit. So I'm going to flop the knee, loosen things up a little bit, go right below the ASIS, or as one student said, the as is. Just do a very gentle pulse. I'll look for movement in the foot, and that way I know I'm getting just a very gentle release. Loosen a little bit more and pulse. It's not real hard, it's very, very gentle pressure. And then this is where we do the sustain hold just for a few seconds. Okay. Then we'll take the pillow out because it's only for the psoas release. There we go. You always want your heels about shoulder width. Okay, now we'll very slowly pick up the knee. Hold the back of her knee. Ooh, this side's tighter than the other. Hold it a few seconds. Then as far as body mechanics, this is also very easy on a therapist because you're moving with the routine. So we hold it. Come around one class and name that the chicken wing, so that's what it is in the book, it's the chicken wing. Piriformis, foot goes down, knee drops, and rock a little bit. Slowly stretch it out and hit that trigger point, sartorius, just a little bit. Oh, hot one. That's your favorite, huh? Kind of work down the leg. Now at the end of a routine, you always want to do a pelvic tilt. Somebody calls me and they say they were a little bit sore. I ask them if they did some pelvic tilts and it's usually no, I forgot. So it's very important that you do that. So we're going to bend both knees up. Okay, now very slowly flatten the small of your back to the table and hold it a few seconds. Good one. Okay, relax again. Now on the next one you want to exhale. You're exerting a muscle, so you want to blow out while you're doing that. So when you go down, blow out. You get a much deeper release like that. So you always want to end with a few of these. And the first one can be pretty intense sometimes if you've been laying there a little while. So you always want to end with the pelvic tilts. Okay, and after that, this is a good time if someone you think would benefit before you get them off the table. For those that use and like the still point inducer, this is a good time to incorporate that at the very end of a session. Just lift the head, just move it right up close to the neck support. It holds it in place. And you can just end a session for about 10 minutes, let them just totally relax. So it's a good way to let everything settle in, take a little nap. You can just leave the room, or you can work feet or hands or whatever else. But this is where there's no movement. It's strictly in a relaxing, still position. So that's for people with whiplash, TMJ disorders. You get the traction with the head draped back over the roll, and then you can end with the hold. So it's a very effective system, very simple to use, but it also works very well for self-care. And your clients that you're really trying to make some changes, you've got to commit them to their homework. They've got to be relaxing on this at home in between visits. So you might want to do 6 30-minute sessions while they're using it daily for 20 minutes. And then every time they come back to you, they're just going to be better and better and better. So after a few minutes here, then you can pick up this knee and then roll completely to your side. Come all the way to me, move to the center of the table. I'll take this out. Bottom leg straight, top leg bent, hold your knee, and then just give yourself a nice stretch. Okay. Then we're going to come back into like a little hug. Then I'm going to do a little stripping just from getting the piriformis pulled a little bit away from the sacrum, just to kind of finish it off. Work the femur and then down. Give a little stretch. Okay, let's go the other side now. Bottom leg straight, top leg bent. Hold the knee with your hand. Go ahead and give yourself a nice little stretch. We don't ever force anything. We just hold this position and let gravity give a nice gentle stretch. Okay, come back to center. Her knee is in my leg, and I'll do some stripping. There you go. And then of course, whenever you get up, you always want to drop both feet off the table and then walk yourself up. You never want anybody to sit up, straight up, and lay straight down. So, that's Nicole, Cindy, and come see Matt and I for our class that we do together for a true craniosacral class. If you have any questions, call 1-800-737-9295. Thank you.